Amar Patnaik.
Thank you, sir.
A very competent man. But when ministries are being discussed, the cabinet minister should be present, sir.
There is a representative.
The cabinet minister, sir, this is always the tradition. Cabinet minister is always present. Well, with no disrespect to the MOS, the cabinet minister should be asked to be present, sir.
He was here at the commencement of the discussion. I'm sure he'll be back.
Any problems on honorable member is
Thank
having,
you, sir.
let
Sir,
him
I'll
talk
start
to
with
me, sir.
the-
No problem.
Facts are that recently, so CAG of India came out with a report on railway finances. It said that the railways operating ratio was the worst in last 10 years. 2017-18 at 98.44%, which basically means that they are spending 98 rupees to earn 100 rupees. And this has been the position of railways since 2012, 13 onwards, if you see, it has always hovered around or above 90. So basically, the health of railways, irrespective of which particular party or which particular railway minister was in charge, has not been very good. It has always faced the problem of declining revenues, internal resources, because the freight contribution has decreased, the passenger fares also have decreased, and the borrowings have increased. There is no money to replace lines. There is no money to replace assets which have been depreciated. The calculations itself, as the CAG has commented severely over the period of time, that many of the figures are contrived. Now, I am not really coming here, sir, to speak about many of the things which honorable members have already spoken, but I could say that one of the important things that the railways could do to improve this operating ratio is to disengage or outsource non-core or peripheral activities, like they run hospitals, they run schools, number of things. They could probably subsidize it, but let the market take care of it. They could monetize the land assets and development infrastructure around the railway stations. They have started now, not very kind of encouraging in the sense only 4 railway stations have got PPP projects for railway station redevelopment, whereas there is an aspiration to develop 100 of them in the next year, which looks very far-fetched. What they need to do, of course, is to have more number of dedicated freight corridors and make it competitive with other modes of transport, because other modes of transport have become very encouraging. They then increase the basket of goods that could move around in freight. Many of these suggestions, sir, has already been given by numerous committees that have been set up from time to time, looking at various aspects of railways. But what has probably remained on paper, all those recommendations probably have remained on paper, and what has not happened is implementation of those recommendations, and those recommendations have been implemented only in a piecemeal manner. The result is that the operating ratios have continued to remain quite poor, and the improvement in the railways in terms of depreciated assets to be replaced has not happened. For example, if we have to only do doubling of railway lines, of the existing railway lines, it will take about 40 to 50 years. So using a framework which our Honorable CM, we use it in Orissa for improving our governance, which is technology, transparency, teamwork, time. I would say that technology, the railways have much to do, because they haven't done anything for improving, using technology to improve safety, to improve running of trains on time. Transparency, a lot to do. Teamwork, they work still in silos. Time, huge number of projects are delayed for about more than 20 years, and all the changes that is happening is not transformational, but pure or mostly incremental. Now I'll come to Orissa, sir. In Orissa, we have, sir, 28% of the iron ore of the country, 24% of the coal, 59% of bauxite, 98% of the chromite. 8.4% is the growth rate, when the annual growth rate of other states was 6.8%. It's a manufacturing hub. Industries have come, but the railway density is now 16 versus the national average of 20. States like West Bengal have 43.4 and Jharkhand have 24.3. And how much do we give to the railway budget? Let me just give those figures. Those figures are, in the last From 2014-15 to 18-19, we have given East Coast Railway 75,965 crores. And how much have we got? We have got only 25,000 crores. Now, the second aspect is we have 6 out of the 30 districts, no railway links, despite making this contribution to the railway exchequer. Since independence, only 5 major broad gauge lines have been drawn in Orissa since independence. The state's efforts to contribute to this railway system so that they come to us, we have exempted registration fees and stamp duty, we have exempted premium on permissive possessions, project-specific viable gap funding. In many cases, we have given land for free, and we are contributing 50% of the total cost of the project in several cases. And despite that, I will come to the number of projects that are pending in this case, which is an answer to question number 1875 on 6th March 2020, as latest as that, in which they have said out of 36 projects costing 49,984 crores, there are 10 new lines, only 1269 kilometers, only 20% have been completed. That is 80 kilometers for 4260 crores. 1 gauge conversion, 140 kilometers, only 90 kilometers has been commissioned. 25 domestic projects, doubling projects, 3159 kilometers, only 494 kilometers, which is 20% has been completed. Now, when the answer says, when we ask for a date, what is the time of completion? The time says, firm completion time of the project cannot be fixed at this stage, and this is really strange. When you do not know when you can complete a project, I really do not understand how the Indian Railways can achieve the efficiency and meet the aspirations of this country, or particularly poor states like Orissa, where the railway density is still one of the lowest in the country. Now I'll come to the fact that, so just 1 minute. So I'll come to the fact, just a few projects, that the direct partnership of the state for new lines, Khurda Balangir, pending since 94-95. SPV route Haridaspur Paradeep, pending since 96-97. Angul Dhubri, pending since 97-98. Now, these are some of there is no time frame for railways to complete these projects. There is no incentive. So there is no incentive. I must suggest this to the railways, that if the zones do not have an incentive to gather revenue or to master revenue, and if they do so, they will get more advantage in terms of doubling of lines, then why would they do so?
Thank you.
So therefore, finally, I would request that, considering the fact that the state government has opened its arm in terms of partnering with the Indian Railways, in terms of land, in terms of cost of the project, I would request that the pending projects should be completed in a time-bound manner, and the railway density, particularly in the areas affected by Naxalite and aspirational districts, 10 out of 30 are aspirational districts, should be completed as quickly as possible. Thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Banda Prakash. Dr. Banda Prakash.